All right, stream should be live on both Twitch and on YouTube. Lower latency on Twitch, better graphics quality on YouTube. So I'll go over the spiel really quick in case this is the first VOD of this event that you've come across or whatever. You just tuned in on YouTube or Twitch. So each year we do a horror event. Each year, every year of existence. I know this is the 7th year in a row, which is insane, of Adam versus Evil. So generally for around the last 2 weeks of October, we play through games of the season, Halloween games, horror games, different levels of scariness, although scariness is very subjective, psychological horror, jump scare horror, that'll probably be tomorrow, just all the things that make sense for the season. We're on day 30, October 30th, and we are going to start out today with Edith Finch. So I'm blind to all these games. I know nothing about them. If you know anything, please don't let me know. Let's stay super blind to the game. If you don't know, though, we can couch co-op, but just be careful answering questions because the nature of streaming and these games in general is I'm going to be, thinking out loud, asking rhetorical questions, stuff like that. If you've missed any of the events so far and you want to check out the other games that we've played, there's a playlist, but you can also go on YouTube and just click on the live tab. They're all in there. Which one would I recommend? I would recommend if you're going to watch one, if you only have time for one, there's a short one, about 3.5 hours. That is Little Misfortune, and that's been the best one so far. All the others have been yikes forever. No, there's been some other decent ones, but Little Misfortune feels like leagues above the other ones. Your computer and come back and have like 8 hours. That's how it goes. What Remains of Edith Finch? Yeah, I am in a chicken costume. Chat is pretty locked down at the moment. Chat is off on YouTube just because I can't moderate while playing this on YouTube, unfortunately. So, all right, and yeah, let's begin. Oh, I'm like straight into it. I'm on a ferry. I can zoom in with shift or control or Q or right click. Every button does the same thing. Edith Finch journal. Oh my god, I know where she is. She's in Washington State. I see the Puget Sound there.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Okay.
Someone had put up a chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it. My brother Milton disappeared when I was 4. It was like the house just swallowed him up.
You've been on that ferry? That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know exactly the area this is set in. Shift does not run, okay.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Weird friggin' house. It looks like a cozy sweater.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Okay, so one brother missing, one brother dead.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Her mother's also dead? Jeez.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Yikes forever.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Wonder if it would let me go that other way. Hey, friend. Hi, friend. On Light Star. Cora, welcome in.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
It looks like it's up to code to me. Up to code.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband.
House is 100% safe.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Oh, what? I wonder if I was supposed to check the front door
Crawling
first.
through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left.
Yeah, maybe I was supposed to go to the front door first. I might have missed some lines. I was like, I don't want to go to the front door first. I want to look around and hear some more things, but might have went the correct way on accident. Gary's potting mix. Nice attention to detail. Even got the tennis ball there. My depth perception is pretty good. We don't use a tennis ball here, but I know a lot of people do.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
It's a 10 out of 10 on Steam, yeah. It's rated very well.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Loving memory, Lewis Finch. It's a lot of fish in a can.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
What happened to Molly?
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Eddie had a wheelchair. Chinese
It was
food.
like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Like amnesia? I have no idea. I'm blind to these games. I don't want to know. I doubt it, but I don't want to know.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
That's a nice view of the sound there.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Live here? Yeah, this would be really nice. Nowadays, this would be like $10 million. They would tell you you're in driving distance of your job in Seattle living here. It's technically driving distance. Time for some work, Minoc. Have a good shift. Going, Dr. Little.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Sven.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Sven built this strange addition to the house. Maybe the whole house, I don't know. Eddie, Don, Milton, Lewis, Edith. Milton's the one that was missing. Yep.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Packing peanuts for a kerosene lamp.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Everything's driving distance if you're willing to drive it. Yeah, I'm more meant commutable, but I guess it's technically commutable as well. Ooh, can we ride?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
What?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Great Uncle Walter had a cool room. Way to go, Great Uncle Walter.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
If you have a job interview that you're interested in, but the location is not commutable, you don't drive. Our mom gave us a key to open 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
My mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
I'm afraid I'm going all the correct ways immediately. Like, I did that in some other games where there's, like, multiple places to go and you can hear more stuff or get more stuff. I'm gonna try the other direction just really quick. Just to see if we get more information.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
That poster was in that terrible game we played yesterday. My Friend Bigfoot by introducing Barbara Finch.
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
Odin and Sven.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
I feel like I didn't need to unlock the book to open the... Well, I mean, yeah, probably not. The handle was inside of it, but yeah. I guess she wouldn't even have known there was a thing to open, though, right? I guess if she had known there was a... It's cool painting. If she had known there was the book was in front of something that's openable, she could have opened it with the book, but I guess, how do you know? Unless she had tried to pick up the book first, right? Man, these, like, themed doors are kind of cool. I kind of want to do this in my house, actually. The windows were just painted on, right? How did I get to 4 hours again? It got down to 4 minutes, and then people went crazy.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
How to get, a quick synopsis. We just started. We've been only playing about 10 minutes. Basically, this girl has returned to her childhood home. She's been gone since she was 11. She's 17 now. Her mom died and left her a key and some information in her will. And we're just going through the house and learning things about our family at the moment.
But I had no idea what was behind that door.
How far are we into the subathon? Today's day 33.
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Just like I had no idea where else was gonna lead.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Mount Rainier National Park.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Hey, it's Uncle Milton's ant farms. Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
So now we're playing through the memory of Molly. Eat the pumpkin.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
The gerbils food?
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Ew. There's turds in there, kid. Oh, God. That's why you can't keep pets in kids' rooms. I thought about... No.
I thought about eating Christopher,
What?
but I held back.
Yikes forever. Leave Christopher alone. Crazy kid. Diablotion. Thank you for the 5 gift subs. Timer goes back up. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Wonder if we can look through the... Oh no, kid. What are you gonna do now? Eat some toothpaste? They would do that.
I kept eating and eating.
What? No, kid, no.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Just go to the kitchen.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. Mom, can I come out now?
They lock their children in their room.
God, it's late. Go to sleep.
I just ate some berries and some poop. It tasted funny.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
So they did name the cat after her. This is pretty much similar to something my daughter would have told me, honestly.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
think this was a precursor to Stray. It's the same publisher. Molly.
The babies were all gone.
You're gonna eat her babies?
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
I'm controlling this, by the way.
Rabbits.
Got him.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
What were in those berries, Molly? What was in those berries?
A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Molly, you don't want to be a shark out here. I'm controlling this, by the way.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
How is it weird? I mean, it's a little kid riding in a... My daughter did talk crazy stuff like this all the time. I'm sure we all did.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off
Kids are weird after all.
and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Most games get muted on YouTube
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
because of the Christmas song. I'm controlling all this.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Hey, stop singing that song.
I wanted to
No,
stop,
I'll get
but
muted.
also I didn't.
Dishonored was a fun game. How can you be singing that while the Christmas song's going, huh? It's a tentacle, yep. Not a snake. I said turn off that music.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Oh, Dishonored was... Yeah, we never finished Dishonored 2. Dishonored 1 was fun. Dishonored 1 and all the DLC playthroughs up on my second YouTube channel, Adam vs. Archive, if anyone ever wants to check it out.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
So I'm still blind to the second one.
I got closer and closer.
Not Christopher. Is it you, Molly? Are you gonna eat yourself?
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was being it. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
The little girl had a pretty cool imagination.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Cool. I feel now a family tree.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Her handwriting's much better than yours. Basically print. Zero. Daryl, thank you for the 2 gift subs. Thank you, Zero. Can I get that timer back up? Thank you, Zero. Shave his belly with a rusty
I
razor.
can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
You think she might have accidentally poisoned herself with those berries, you think? Yeah, maybe. It's all like this. The stuff's in the room for the most part, right? We saw the owl, the shark. Especially didn't turn into an ant. Or a hamster.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
So yes, the cat was named after Molly.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Pictures of birds in bird cages. Starship Gemini.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Wait. Can I not move the slide? I'm sure I can.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
Beautiful name, Ingeborg. One of the best, really.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Hang on a minute.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
I'm looking at a globe in my head right now. What was the route?
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Yeah, that's a crazy route to take. I mean, any route would be crazy with your house. I was going to say with your house, but... The Dwarf. The Mysteries of Death and Thereafter by Odin Finch. Sven, Edie. Norwegian folk tales. I like this bird. Mole man beneath the Finch house.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Win a family day out at Druid World.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith Jr. My Friend Bigfoot. Random Junk. Edith interview. Home movies. Weird America. The Finches. Sam Medal Ceremony. Sam Photo Award. Conspiracy Now.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
72-year-old woman refused to evacuate because of a little forest fire.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
How close did the subathon get to ending last night? 4 minutes. Dragon kills Finch.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
That's what she's wearing. Anything else before we click on the next thing? Built in 1937. Sven Finch.
Even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Sympathy card. Why not just mend the old gloves? Do you mend all your clothing?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Yeah, look at that.
It was a pretty big trace.
Pink shag carpet. In the bathroom, excellent. When it captures all that moisture. No particle escapes. Mount Rainier National Park. Go back there someday. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. That's gonna be in my head today. Yesterday it was George. Today it's sea shanties. There's a secret in this bathroom by Sven and Edith Finch.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Calvin Finch. Wow. Born April 25th, 1951. Died September 23rd, 1951. Middleton. The command center. So they left the room exactly like it was. Roped it off.
I knew
Alvin and
Grandpa Sam
Sam
had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Captured the secret lives of war photographer. Odin Finch National Park. No, I didn't want to go back there. Just looking. Looking before I go up. Had a twin that died.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
I'm controlling this, by the way.
Maybe if I hadn't said that. Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Oh. Well, that's sad.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Yeah. I remember those talks on the playground. Nibe, for the 22 months. Here's some more minutes. Thank you, Nibe. You're sad and nauseous. So it was 1961, not 51, so also 11. I thought that it was hard to read it on that other photo in there, but 11, not.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Hey, we've seen that area. Anonymous. I don't know who you are. I appreciate you. Thank you for the sub to Loon. No more ads for you, Loon. For another month at least. Thank you, Anonymous.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
My friend Bigfoot, Barbara Finch. You even had lunch boxes? Look at that Bigfoot. Seattle Ballet Company presents Swan Lake. The OG Harry and the Hendersons. Rewatched Harry and the Hendersons a couple years ago. Great movie. Would you really say it's a great movie? It's a great movie.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Does it hold up? It's still fun, yeah. It's very nostalgic. So if you liked it back in the day, you'll probably still like it. It's your first time seeing it, you might not like it as much. Happy birthday, Barbara. Here's a moldy pizza. Smoking Barbara? Really? In the 50s? That's the most unrealistic part. I don't think anyone smoked in the 50s. 0% of people. No, it's crazy. Looking at pictures from back then, like literally everyone, like every person you see everywhere, no matter where they are. Doctors performing surgery, smoking. Doesn't matter. Even the children walking around, yeah. But finishing the anomaly ending and starting the void, if void provocation will only trigger shambler assaults. Yeah, so once you, yeah, it's basically like playing with anomaly and no monolith. So you can get Creep joiners, shamblers, and cultists are the only thing that you can get from Anomaly after if you disrupt instead of connect. Dreadful
All the
stories.
stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
It literally disrupts the void, yep.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I'm sure we'll find out, though. With the curse.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been.
Beastie
But in a
Con.
lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for
Took her
him
20 minutes to go check on him.
on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Man, this is going to be completely muted on YouTube.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
I'm controlling these comic arts, by the way. Pretty cool. Yeah, that was also in that game we played yesterday. Did the Annapurna people publish that crappy game from yesterday? That one was terrible.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
I mean, it's pretty cool that they got this song, yeah.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Last day of the subathon, Christopher.
Oh dear!
Oh dear.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Here we go again. I wonder how much it costs them to get the rights to use this music. Yeah, playing through the comic is pretty cool too.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And young he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Gross! Thank you for the 5 gift
Barbara,
subs.
there's gotta be another way out of here.
Very much appreciated. Timer goes up. It's still going. We got down to 4 minutes last night. Here we are. But today's the final day. Today's the last day of the streamathon. I had one of these as a kid, but I think it was like a Donald Duck one or something.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Crypt Keeper. Some Crypt Keeper crap. Super Crypt Keeper. I haven't thought about the Crypt Keeper in forever.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was.
Get him out.
Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
That was a pretty cool part, though, playing through the comic as she's reading it. Bigfoot. Yikes forever. Poor Walter. I already have a theory about this game. I don't want to say it because I'm afraid someone will be like, "Yes, how'd you figure that out?" Or, "No, that's not what happens." I'll wait till the end. We're gonna do a Call of Duty portion where someone remembers being in a war, maybe.
I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Is there an origin to the Yikes for everything? Yeah, watch the Little Misfortune playthrough. Go to YouTube sometime, click on the live tab, and the very first game in this event was Little Misfortune. It's a short playthrough, like 3 hours. That's where Yikes Forever is from. Or you can watch it on the Twitch VODs. It still exists on Twitch VODs for now.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Been the best one so far this year. If you watch one of the VODs, I would say that one, and it's a pretty short one too.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Anything else that tells any story before we do that? Guess not. Can we look through these then? Yep.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
A peephole of the bathroom from the outside? Oh, man. Crap.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
The house or library, so many books. The house. Not literally. Yeah, it's a weird way to
I
say
wonder
it.
if that comic was right about there being a key inside the music box near the basement.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I just wanted to do some peeping through some holes.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Not literally. His dead brother wasn't in the room. He roped off that side of the room and kept it exactly how his dead brother, his twin, had it when he was alive. So he stayed in there with his brother's room the exact same, even as he grew up. And then as soon as he got old enough to leave and go out on his own, he left that room. But he didn't want to change. He preserved the room exactly how his brother had it when he died. And so it's an odd way to say it, but... Why is the bathroom sealed up? Everything is sealed up. Her mother sealed it up after one of the deaths.
Only one restaurant would deliver to our house. We had Chinese a lot.
Fun session. Jerk in the library. Apparently I missed clicking on that. Wonder if we missed anything in the garage. Oh.
Maybe I should go check out that music box down by the basement.
Yeah, we're working on it. I'm just seeing if I missed anything now that I know I can interact with more.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Dawn Finch, living room.
If I keep winding the music box, maybe a key will pop out like it did in the comic book.
This is freaking God of War all over again. You're not allowed to look around. The game thinks every few seconds that you're stupid for not going where it wants you to go. Brother, not that way, brother. Brother, no. Brother. Don't explore that way yet, brother. You're not allowed to explore that way, brother. Brother, you're trying to read extra things? No, brother. Brother. Yeah, Dad's always like that, brother. I can see them giving you like one reminder, but man, like every like 30 seconds. Brother. That's my only little complaint so far. As I was just like, oh, now that I know I can look and click on more stuff, I'm gonna do that before I go to the basement. No. Brother, please. There, Billions quote. As long as you have a market, you can never have too much wood. Supply and demand. There's always demand for wood. There's always demand for wood. Billions. Kratos, you're on fire! Sure, probably already knew that.
Mom said the basement was
Put out
off
the fire, brother.
Unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Oh, there's that saw. Sven liked making dwarves. Oh, right. He died working on that dragon. Is that a Finnish flag? Snugular 175. Snug tight home insulation. Darkening. Quote 598. My Native American name is Peas with Ease. What? What a quote.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Darkening. Excuse me.
I thought
Darkening.
maybe she was hiding presents.
I say Finnish. I meant yeah, I'm not sure why I said Finnish. That's Norway. They're Norwegian.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Oh, have you never misspoken, Cal? How is life with making no mistakes? Let me know. In America, people drink root beer and they misspeak sometimes.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
I haven't forgotten about you and root beer. We catch you on everything, even ice cream.
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Alvin cereal, extra crispy. Is that the Fonz? Hey.
if there's a pattern in all these stories.
Peanut butter. Jiggly Farms. I'm gonna sneeze. Your youngest sibling used to eat banana and ketchup sandwiches. Well, based on that information, I think everyone in Britain does that. I'm sorry. That's how I'm gonna start behaving. Spacer's Choice. Tasty beans!
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter. 1952 to 2005. India. The Taj Mahal. So this is probably a picture of Cuba or somewhere, I guess, right? Oh, look! It's Las Vegas! Is that what you want me to say now? Greetings from beautiful Spain. I heard they speak Mexican there in Spain. Spanish in Mexico, right.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
This is going to be...
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
Completely muted.
Having a schedule, living for today.
Peaches.
I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of a door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave.
You're giving up
I
on...
still can.
Only after 30 years? Only been 30 years. Walter. Sounds like me when the streamathon is finally over. I'm just gonna play the Frodo meme on repeat for like 24 hours when the streamathon's over. Jiggly Farms!
I know it's out there, somewhere.
Hey, there's some ketchup for the bananas. Millions of peaches. Peaches for free. They do come in a can.
Barbara. And Molly. And Calvin.
Wow.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Way to go, Walter.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
What was Walter's problem? What do you mean? All those people around him died. They're all dying. And so he was scared that he was going to die too. And probably in some kind of like psychosis depression thing, got a bunch of food and stuff delivered or was set up and basically locked himself in a bunker so it wouldn't happen to him. And then he was there for like 30 years and he's like, you know what? Things are going to be okay. Even I'm getting out of here, even if I only live a week before whatever killed them kills me also. And then he stumbled out of his place and got hit by a train immediately. Crazy. But yes, he locked himself in there because all those other people died. At least that's what it's telling us.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Apparently he was really down there, though. According to her. Fake window. So what did he do down here the whole time? Built trains, painted trains. And a sink. Place to wash up, a bathroom. Carved stuff, painted stuff. 8 peaches, apparently. Look at his fake window. Bunker isn't lying. Yeah, that's why he was saying he's like, took him 30 years though. He was foreshadowing his own death by painting those trains. Also had tons of books to read.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
The shaking monster he felt and heard outside were the trains, I guess. Oh, and the train stopped coming. Probably, it's not the same year, but it might have been another one of those forest fires where everyone else had to evacuate and things stopped working, right?
But if she never told me about an uncle under the house...
You watched a lot of the stream.
I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Okay. So yeah. I guess everyone else evacuated for something like a forest fire or whatever. We've heard of a forest fire where everyone but one person evacuated. I think that was in like 1972, not 2005, but there could have been another one or something.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2.
He broke his way out instead of going through the house. I mean, he's been locked in a room by himself for over 30 years. You can't really blame him for doing anything crazy. Like, he was also afraid of the house. That's where the people died, right? So, you can't put logic to someone that's been locked in a room in solitary confinement for 30 years, right? Where he put all the dirt? It wasn't dirt. He just broke the wall open.
I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself. And found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
There's the swing.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but...
We need a torch? Do you mean a flashlight?
The pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Zerpy, Lurpy, Furpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy, and Derpy Jr. Not Derpy Jr.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly died when she was 10. Oh, it's a kitty with wings. Calvin died when he was 11. Sven died when he was 12. No. Edith Finch. Walter. Barbara.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea.
She was 90, right?
My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Barbara also died on her birthday. At 16, right? I think it was 16?
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Boy, they were really close to the house.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
So, makes a lot of sense why her mom was like locking everything and sealing everything up and trying to keep them from doing harm to themselves, but that definitely backfired, huh?
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now.
Especially with the Molly thing.
Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Yep. I figured that was coming. She was either pregnant or she was riding in hopes that Milton would return. She's pregnant? Well, yeah, she's been talking to someone else. She's riding this to leave behind for someone. She said, you know, that's the whole reason she's doing this. So this is left behind for when she's dead. Can be read. Maybe it also explains why we can't run.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
He was the war photographer. Whoops.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
Flash bung.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Smile, Dawn. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Like how if you don't take, didn't take the picture of the right thing, they had extra lines for that.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
I'm gonna take a picture of this bag of chips.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else?
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn.
Oh,
Always
weird.
remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Yep. Wow, what a terrible picture to have.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
This is like literally another Yikes Forever game. Not in a negative way. Like, it's strangely similar in a lot of ways. Very different storytelling and graphics. It's similar in a lot of ways to Little Misfortune, interestingly enough. In sort of a weird way. Ugh. What a terrible picture to have, though, man. Picture at the moment that he's dying, and she's there with him crying.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Well, for me, things like this are more horror than... I mean, there's lots of different horror things, but things like this are more horror to me because they're more realistic, right? It's like the things talking about like child abuse and stuff in Little Misfortune feels a lot more horrifying to me than being chased by a clown, you know? It's like real dread. I used to tell my daughter, not in a like, it's gonna sound kind of bad, but I remember telling my daughter before when she would ask if there were monsters. I was like, the only monsters in the world are people. Just be careful with strangers. They have the potential to be monsters. There are no real monsters other than people. What about bears? Rimworld IRL. Just ask Scoob and the gang, right? If there's any more things that she'll talk about if we look at them. There's that, which we'll probably leave. I think she's already mentioned everything. We look through this one? No. Only look through them from the outside. Oh, that's a cat smacking at a squirrel. A taxidermy cat smacking at a taxidermy squirrel. I didn't see that in the dark on my screen. Rude. Alright, let's leave. The only real monsters are Twitch chat now.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Well, yes, of course, there's things like parasites and, like, you know, prions and things like that, right? But when you're talking to a little kid about monsters, you're not like, yeah, things like Bigfoot and things don't exist, but be aware of all these other things that can kill you, child. How do you know Bigfoot doesn't exist? Santa still exists? Yes. Oh no. Man, this is terrible. This kid was one. Is he let me read it? Kay and Carlisle and Sam Finch, divorce contract. A lawsuit has been filed against you. You have 20 calendar days after the summons served on you to file a written response to the attached complaint petition with the clerk of this court located, blah, blah, blah. Do not file your response. Do copies, warning. Okay. No, put it back. I pressed the wrong direction, apparently. I've completed the IRL Bigfoot quest I have. Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't. I wonder what he saw. He reminded me so much of Calvin, lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw, it sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds that I worried about a baby being too happy, but I felt him slipping away. I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night. I wish you could have told us about the world he saw.
Dear Kay.
Oh.
Do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Ah, well, at least we got to read the rest.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
I was literally like 1 pixel away from it reading it to us, so I didn't know I was going to, so I just read it. It's U-sized. How small are you, Dysphonia?
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
Oh, I'm controlling the frog.
I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
Stream still up? Okay.
So much of
Hooray! It worked! Every night. Well, that's just because the power went off and back on.
Lost in his imagination.
1 second. Yeah, I gotta get the camera back on. Just 1 second. The camera's not hooked up to the UPS, so 1 second. UPS worked. All right, let me check the YouTube one really quick. All right, we're good. Hooray! I wonder why the power... well, let me check something real quick. was just making sure the yard people who are supposed to be here today didn't hit something. All right. So I guess now we have tested the UPS, so the new UPS worked, so that's good.
Whatever it was, he saw. It sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds.
UPS soon. I have 3 of them now. 2 decent sized ones and 1 really small one.
Being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. Check on him.
If I hadn't called that night.
Damn it.
Lady,
I don't want Gregory to hear this.
the phone can wait.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything.
Get off the phone.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
He's 1. Less than 1 at this stage.
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
It's not your fault. You shouldn't have taken the call. If you have a baby in the bathtub, you don't go take a phone. Close the glass back and go take a phone call. And then blame it on a curse. Well, I guess the family's cursed. Yeah, cursed with stupidity. God. Do all the children pass away because of adult neglect? Kinda.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry.
So far.
Yet.
Nice hair, Gus. Rufio. Rufio. House rules. No playing outside without permission. No answering door for strangers. No messes after dark. All chores before dark. Respect others. Yeah, I saw the thing to click. Don't worry. Raise the flag at 7:30. Breakfast at 8. Quiet time, 11 p.m. Dawn, sweep. Take out the trash. Gus, mop, mow. Guard. Greg, be a baby. Routine, jump rope. Jumping jacks. Push-ups. Crunches. Run to mailbox sack. That's 100 jump ropes. 150 jumping jacks. 100 push-ups. 100 crunches. Oh, cool. All right, Gus, let's see what tragic neglect happened to you. Did you just say Greg failed at his task? No, Greg was definitely being a baby.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Wow. Go, Gus.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power, but all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
The curse is that they're stupid and they neglect children.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
He died because of a storm? Well, I mean, he stayed out, and the tent flew, and it looked like it hit him, and I'm guessing he must have drowned in the surf based on the last words of the poem. But, I mean, technically, yes, he died because of a storm.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Should have electrocuted him because he was flying a kite in the thunderstorm.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Where helping hands create safe places. 10 ways to teach critical thinking. Flight India. Dawn Finch. Go out that way. Kind of cool. Fire pole. We're gonna go out that way, but I'm gonna slide down this first. I didn't read that book. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, the previous generation basically was careless, and the children died because of it. And so her mom, because of this, and what happened to her siblings and whatnot, people around her, was overprotective. And then they died because of that. It's like... For instance, like locking Molly in her room at night and sealing things up and trying to lock her window from the outside. But then Molly was hungry and couldn't just go out of her room and get a snack, so she died going out the window.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
IMAX 80 months. Your IMAX. Gray Bush. What? How did I... Was that when I was up or during the craziness? How did I not see that? Oh, you literally... Yeah, you did it while the power was out. The timer's still went up, though, I see. Gray Bush, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Thank you, Gray Bush. No wonder I didn't. Power flicked out. When the UPS was doing its thing, I didn't
Lewis
know
was
we're here.
born a year later.
Thanks, Gray Bush. Sorry I missed that.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Oh yes, we're in the very safe portion of the house now.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Homeschooled, huh? Great job. Awesome. Analyze objectively. Never stop learning. Assume nothing. Respect criticism. Ask tough questions. 4 lessons. Grade 3 through 5. Reading is a hoot. Lewis rules.
But it didn't last.
Odin Finch, The Curse, by Edith Finch. Hey, we did this.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Milton is just missing, that's all we know, yeah. really run away? Did something happen to him? We don't know yet.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Alien abduction, maybe. Bigfoot. Who knows?
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Flip books, yeah. Flip books are hard to do really well. That one was really well done.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
And then they ate nothing but salmon.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Wonder why. Oh, yesterday's the last day of the streamathon? It was, yeah. And also today is. And if you just know, it was canned salmon. Peach thing was before this. Canned salmon that everyone got sick of eating aside from the cat, Molly.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
What did it smell like? I wonder. You know what? I think I can smell this room right now. No, I didn't mean to go out. Go back in. No self-respecting cat could ever refuse canned food. I mean, like, literally, I smell it in my room, by the way. I just... They did a good job of allowing you to smell this room in the game. The cat hates canned fish. Ah, yes, the not a PlayStation. High school diploma, Lewis Finch. Wonder what these things are. The Red King's Dream. This would be a pretty cool place to play games. Like, look at this.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
I'm controlling both, by the way.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
You wanted me to have this job, lady. You wanted me to stop doing drugs and get a job? Here we are. That's what you wanted.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
So handsome. His imagination is obscuring more and more of his work.
Radiant rainbows.
I'm sure Lewis wasn't thinking about a beautiful prince, maybe.
He followed the sound of her electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Go Palace, Orchid's Island, the only ones that will deliver.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
It's Molly. I'm sure we're going to be crowned.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Well, he didn't chop his hand off.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
So again, like, the mother was trying to do the right thing this time, not like the previous generation, right? She was like, no, you need to get a stable job, don't do drugs, see a psychiatrist. Should have just let him stay in this room and do drugs and play video games. What's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything else to interact. Oh, right, the video game.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Where he goes? Drug empire? That's right, I have so much money, I know. That's why I'm living on a concrete slab. That's why I'm living on a concrete slab. It's all spent on drugs.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me...
It's actually partially true. Because of being self-employed, medical expenses on my crap and my wife's stuff over the years has not been cheap, that's for sure. So it's kind of true.
She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. I understand why we left.
Always start selling meth, on the downtime. Yeah, the downtime. That's why people are trying to keep me at the streamathon. We can't let him stop or he'll start making drugs. No. Oh, the crunchy peanuts.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
We don't know how the mom died yet. Yeah, I'm sure they'll believe that. Oh God, you have called your servants to ventures of which we cannot see the ending. By paths as yet untrodden, through perils unknown. Give us faith to go out with good courage, not knowing where we go, but only that your hand is leading us and your love supporting us. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, amen. To Teach and to Learn by Dawn Finch. 7 ways to create a fulfilling classroom. Disaster relief, Sanjay.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
I like how Edith is stabbing the food with hers. That was a little detail there. Everyone else is using the chopsticks, but Edith's just stabbed through stuff and then she's only holding one.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance.
Chopsticks are hard.
Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
Cowboy GS, thank you for the 4 months. Subscribing just to Kappa. Thank you.
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
You're better with chopsticks than forks. You'll trade half your fork skill.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground.
My wife and I taught ourselves together how to use chopsticks when I was about 18 or 19 with popcorn. We just had a big thing of popcorn. We would practice with popcorn.
There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean.
It was like one of the easiest first things to do that didn't matter if we dropped or anything.
Lowest tide in 1,000 years.
Man, all the way to the old house.
God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Popcorn
I never
chop.
thought I'd go back to it.
Cheetos, still eat
When the
those.
fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
Who is this written to? It's written to Edith, yeah.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Yes, this is from Edith. The Edith Jr. Her grandma wrote her this as a gift before they left.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
Hey!
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it.
Boy, I remember doing this. I haven't been a passenger in a car in forever, so I don't really do this anymore.
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes and appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
They didn't clear anything up about the curse. Yeah, we don't know if there was really a curse, I guess, right? I guess they made the curse manifest by being afraid of the curse. That's what it sounds like, right? Like, there's no real curse. Just like I said, there's no real monsters, right? So it's more like they make manifest the curse. And it's been happening ever since, like, ages past, so the curse, yeah, was the curse was a tragedy that was enveloping the family over generations. However, it wasn't because of, I mean, I guess in a roundabout way, yeah, it was a curse, right? But it was like a self-perpetuating thing. So the harder they tried to not have the curse be a thing, the more they died to whatever they were trying to do to prevent a curse that might not have been other than a self-fulfilling prophecy type thing, right? So, just an altogether really sad game, huh? We still don't know about Milton. I don't know if there was something else we could have found. There was one path at the beginning that I didn't take. I don't know if that was anything. So I'm curious if you learned anything about Milton. You think he ran away? Yeah, but we don't know. It sounded like he ran away, but we don't know what, like, happened to him because of that. Did everything, like the atmospheric nature. Yeah, the storytelling was good. It was, so this is a much better way to do, I'm not a fan of walking simulator games generally, but this one was much better. Like, Little Misfortune is actually kind of a walking simulator too. You find out once you get to the end. No big spoiler, but it's basically a walking simulator as well. That one was the best one so far out of this event this year. But the one yesterday was awful. Like, we played one yesterday that was called Find Yourself, which is just absolutely one of the worst games I've ever played. Not just like horror games or whatever, or Halloweenish, sad seasonal game, whatever. The Find Yourself game was just like, at the end of it, I told everyone, I was like, I hate to say this, I really don't like crapping on games, but man, this game kind of sucked. Not this one, but the one yesterday. So, Milton's experience is a reference to another game the devs made. What's the name of that game? Worse than Greedfall? Worse than Greedfall, yeah. At least it was short, though. It was 2 hours of crappy game, not like 40 hours, so. But. I think I hear the, I'm in a freaking chicken suit. I think the yard people are here and I'm in a chicken suit. One second. You know what? I'm answering the door in it. I'll let you know what happens. I was about to take it off. I'm not doing it. They didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. They're just like, I'm here from True Green to do your lawn today. And I was like, all right. They're like, okay. And I turned around. All right. There is a sequel called The Unfinished Swan. Oh, it's not like a true sequel, I see. Yeah. Interesting. From the creators of What Remains of Edith Finch, enter the surreal world of the Unfinished Swan and explore the mysterious hidden kingdom by splatting paint to reveal the world around you. Interesting. Not to this year. Just casually getting ready for Halloween. Halloween's tomorrow. I mean, yeah, the thing is, they probably don't think as much about it, you know, me coming to the door in a chicken suit, because Halloween's literally tomorrow. So, for all they know, I'm getting ready for a Halloween party or something, right? But, so what do I think of that one altogether? So, yes, definitely a walking, I'm practicing for Halloween, definitely a walking simulator. There are, like, mini games that you play in it. The mini games are pretty straightforward as well, though, right? Like, I had to control the guy while chopping the fish at the same time. I had to do the comic thing where I walk around and hit people. All that. Very sad, very bleak game, right? So, and we already kind of talked about the curse being this self-fulfilling prophecy, which this perpetual trauma that the family's going through, and then like the next generation tries to stop it. But it's not a real curse, but like they overdo it. So like her mom's siblings died. And so her mom was like, I'm not going to have this happen. So I'm going to really protect my kids as much as I can. So for instance, Molly, she's like, I'm at night. When I can't keep an eye on you, I'm locking you in your room. I'm going to lock you in there. I'm going to put, a chain on the outside of the window. Nothing bad can happen to you while I'm asleep because you're locked in your room. But then Molly woke up hungry and couldn't get out of her room to eat, so she ate presumably some like random things in her room, but also I think the berries, right? I think the berries that was supposed to show that was one of the things she ate that like made her see weird things or whatever. And then she went out the window anyway and ended up dying. So things like that, like the overprotectiveness ended up doing the opposite of what her mom wanted. So like, yeah, just everyone was dying for everything. It was like it's not even mistletoe. What is it called? What it was? How many kids did her mom have? It was it 3 or 4? Holly berries, yeah. Have a holly jolly, yeah. So. Lewis, Milton, Molly, and Edith. Milton ran away. Lewis, well, he was the canning company death. Molly out the window, and then Edith. I seems to suggest that she died during childbirth, right? Died giving birth to her son. Like it doesn't specifically say that, but I think that's like. That's what you can kind of infer. Oh no, Molly. No. Molly, yeah, the cat was named after Molly. That wasn't Molly. Molly was one of the older ones. Was it 4, right? No, wait. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting the names mixed up, but yeah. There'd be maybe more so for the creators. Yeah, perhaps so. We're doing here. 1 second. All right. The baby scene. Which one? The one in the bathtub that died, that drowned, or the baby birth at the end? I'm guessing you mean the drowning one. Yeah, that's Yeah, that's pretty crazy. When you're leaving a baby in the friggin' bath and then closing them in there while you go take a phone call. Baby's 1, just turned 1. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see why, like, the family would think they're cursed, right? With all the things. She took 2 phone calls, that's right. Like, I can see why the family would think they're cursed. Like, even the guy, the one that died out hunting, you know? He went up there to take a picture with his daughter on her first hunting trophy and got knocked off a cliff. So, and apparently the curse went back 500 years before they even moved to the United States. We don't get to know what happened before Odin, other than it was already, they were already considered a cursed family. So, first subject to each child, the creative genius. Yeah, I don't know. And the thing is, the grandmother, Edith, which side was she on? I don't remember. Was she married into the family? Or was she one of the original? She was married in, right? Good, it's good. Yeah, like I said, it's a walking simulator, but it's a big difference on how stories are told with walking simulators that makes them good or not. Like, Find Yourself was awful. What was another one? Colat was an awful one. Like, it was very boring, very straightforward. This one wasn't boring. Let's take the story out of the equation. How it, like, presented stuff and information, and like all the little parts in the house that you could look at that didn't tell you stuff, like it didn't read it to you, were like remnants and clues of, or not necessarily clues, but like related to each person. Find Yourself was that Subway one for yesterday. Yes, the one with the clown. Yeah. That Edith was Odin and Ingeborg's child. Yeah, that's right. Ingeborg. That's right. Spouses were the leaves. Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty. Yeah, it was good overall. Worth playing, unlike the Find Yourself game. So we have time to play something else today. So those of you on YouTube, the stream will come back up probably in like 15 minutes. I need to pick the other. So I have some like filler games. Some of them are supposed to be good. Some of them I know that are supposed to be good. I'm not playing the Summer of 58 one. That's by the same people as the Subway one yesterday. And the Subway one was so bad that I uninstalled the Summer of 58 one. I feel like it's probably, if it's anything like that one, it's not worth the time. But we'll go to the list and see which ones we have what hours there are on it. And yeah, it's funny because people are like, Adam likes every game. Not every game. Free time. Maybe the 7 months. Free time. The stream. Thanks for work. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, those of you on YouTube, I'm going to shut down the YouTube side. YouTube doesn't let me like switch games during a stream broadcast or send you to the next one, really. So it'll probably come back up in about 15 minutes. I need to choose. I have a list of like extra games for the year if we have more hours. Mortuary Assistant is tomorrow. Yeah, that one has always been planned for Halloween, so that's tomorrow. But we'll play something else today. Let me shut down YouTube. I'll be back with it. We'll pick out the game. If you want to come over to Twitch in the meantime while we're picking out the game and making a quick thumbnail, feel free to do so. But I'm going to go ahead and end the VOD for this on YouTube side.